then you as the individual worker, you have something which we call a gross salary. You have something which we call a gross salary.
Hello guys, welcome back once again to another episode of Trend Digest. My name is Nane Abu, of course, with Double H at the back. And as usual, we are here to digest the trending issues for you. I'm here with Awuche, and we are here to talk about an issue that the boys for the WhatsApp group, the investors, everyone is happy to hear this issue. In the next few days, the betting tax and the E-Levy tax is going to be out of the system as promised by the people in charge of it. Yes, so I'm here with Awuche, and we are coming to get straight into it. Awuche,
Nana,
maybe I work with you.
Abi, yes, we promised the boys this year we come cook over and over again. So you make a quiz you small this morning. All right. So there's a quiz. I want to check your IQ level. So your viewers will watch you. Your viewers they watch you. All right. Okay. So this year, as we said, we are going to cook over and over again. You say corporate institutions and get them a books where you do and then they do. Like let's say Ed Dreams, we get one exercise we they do. You remember? So say we go share to one our members and everything. You say Guinness people to then get exercise books like that. You remember? We still they do the cooking. All right. So this year because of how we want to do everything, we should contact Guinness, right? Then we get some of the exercise, probably like 2 or 3 exercise books, right? Then every day we come here, we record every cooking we are doing here. At the end of the year, we have to go back to take these books. And when we take these books, we reflect on how we have done for the year. How do you think we are going to call that book?
Why are you putting me on the spot?
Now, they check your IQ. Your viewers, they watch you.
No.
So now, it is the end of the year. Go carry those books come.
The books we go take from Guinness people.
Yes, where we record every cooking we do for inside this year. How we go refer to the books?
Cook at all. Guinness Book of Record or what? No. Now listen. You know what I thought cook at all? People they cook and then they do that cook at all this thing to get recognition from the Guinness Book of Record.
So that's why I tell you.
So I said cook at all based on the cooking thing you say you come inside.
No. So I said, how would we refer the book to?
Okay.
Relax. Because we are cooking over and over again. That is where it brings us to the cookathon. Who they handle records for everything.
The Guinness Book of Record.
Guinness Books of Record. So Guinness Books of Record go recognize me for the number of cookies.
Okay.
That be the cookathon.
Okay.
So now your
cycle.
So now everybody see how your IQ.
Oh, now
me I talk.
Now me that don't know. The people that don't know say me now. So let's get back to the main topic. The E-Levy and the betting tax. I would say in the first place, do you think it was even relevant, the taxes that Adudi and his government brought?
So you see, let's look at the motive or the rationale behind taxing. So people in a country, as patriotic citizens, as citizens who want to see the country develop, whether it is Ghana, whether it is Europe, whether it's any part of the world, are supposed to pay taxes. When you are a citizen and you want to see your country develop, there is no way you can run away from taxes. Or there is no way your psyche should be in a way that you want to evade taxes. It should never be so. So, as an ordinary citizen, when you are being asked to pay taxes, I think you should be happy. Conversely to the fact that it is going to come at, let's say, the detriment of whatever money you are accruing from somewhere, whatever project you have in mind that you want to build and you are saving for that. You see, you want to see your country develop. You want to create an enabling environment where your younger brothers, where people are not going to be on the streets. So how can we do this? We can only do this by paying taxes. So taxes, at first, it's not bad. But we go into it and you look at the kind of taxes which you are asking people to pay. So that brings us to the E-Levy and the betting tax. Let me give you a little history of these two taxes before I come to break it down whether I think it was right or it wasn't right. So let me start from the betting tax because I think that is what most of the fellow Ghanaians, let us be citizens and not spectators. When we talk about people not being spectators, we are talking about the chunk youth out there who wants to put in their energy to see this country elevate to a level where they can be proud of it. So you introduced betting tax, just as you said earlier on, to investors. In this investment, we are not talking about treasury bills. We are not talking about pensioners who are having their pension bonds and having haircuts, where we are telling them to sacrifice their pension bonds because they want to see the country develop, which in the first place, it was never right. It was never supposed to be so. But we are talking about people who are gaming. So this gaming tax, it came around, let's say, August 2023. That is when the then Adudi government introduced the betting tax. So they introduced the betting tax because they realized that they, as a government, have failed Ghanaians. This is my understanding of the betting tax. They realized that they as the leaders of the country, they have failed Ghanaians, and that they have failed miserably in providing employment avenues, in ensuring that we have a ministry of youth and sport. I never understood that ministry, and that is why we have been most of us have been happy. His Excellency John Dramani Mahama has taken out the youth component out of that ministry into a different ministry where we are going to have empowerment and employment and all those things. So they failed us miserably in creating employment avenues. Then the youth sits down. We cannot sit for our girlfriends to leave us for the sugar daddies. We cannot sit and have a time when our parents who invested millions of cedis in our education sit down, and when they grow, in Akan there is an adage that says Openini and I will be sure Emma will say Efifia. And also sharing man senior day. So the youth realized that when it was our turn to watch our parents say, "You better show mama must here to," we cannot be able to do that because we are not having adequate employment avenues and we are sitting idle. So why don't we create our own work? Why don't we create our own title? And that is how we coined a very interesting name, investors. This is a title when you used to enter every reputable institution, people would stand up and welcome you wholeheartedly because you are an investor. You are investing in their shares. You are investing in their stock market. So boys say, make we invest. Then Adudi and his compatriots, they sit down and realize that they have not been able to raise enough tax to do whatever they want to do. So they come to tell us that your own employment which you created, I am coming to take 10% out of your revenue. So on August, they implemented this tax to see the ordinary Ghanaian, to see the investors' company shut down because investors with a tire pass. Charlie, somebody go fi have 20 slips, 50 slips for the whole week. Just one day, especially people that they invest on Saturdays. Every investor knows a Saturday be bad day for investment. Then on Saturday, you realize that all your 50 slips, it cast.
What is cash out?
What is cash out? See, this language, only investors go FIBA. Any other person who they watch we write, will no be investor, no go
you don't understand.
What is cash out? It is one of, you see, it is one of the things which causes BP. High blood pressure. You see that thing, but then your heart cuts. No, it's one here. I also go check BP. So, say, Adudi, a person will go, your friend, and say, yeah, Jumana Yatina. You see, in the year under review, we had so many banks collapsing. And why were these banks collapsed? It was as a result of these nuisance taxes and all that. It was as a result of, they say, bank set up, clean up, and all those things. So, this 10%, when it was being explained by the ministers and the people in charge, they said, young people are gambling, and because young people are gambling, it is not right to see young people gamble. So they want to put a tax there so that it will deter people from gambling. Come on. You want to deter people from gambling and you want to make money from that? You are rather the people who regulate the gaming authority. So why don't you say that just as you cleaned the banking sector, why don't you say enough is enough? We don't want to have any gambling, whatever. So here, we don't want to have the casinos. We don't want to have the betting. We don't want to have this and all that. So we are canceling it. We are questioning it. But rather, you slam a tax of 10% on it. I go to invest within the week, within the month. I can lose millions of cedis. And when I lose millions of cedis, Ken Oforiatta is not there to comfort me. Ken Oforiatta is not there to reimburse me with a 10%. So I keep on losing over a period of time. And when God has been so generous to me, and he watches from heaven and he says, my son, Awuche, my son, my son, my son. He calls me 3 times. And on the 3rd time, I respond, Father, speak. Your son listens. And that is the point. You want to say that God has blessed me with something, with a token, which is not even a scratch of the money I have lost. That is when in Chi we say, that is when Ken Oforiatta is extremely happy for doing virtually nothing. And when God wants to bless me, he comes here and he says, Uju, don't forget. Even when I haven't paid my 10% tithe in church, most of the youth, Charlie, we know they pay tithes.
I buy not today the other.
I buy that the tithe and son of my class, them young couple no frame here. Or catch them out my blessing, and son of what?
God.
What he has here. So 10%, it was introduced in August 2023. And you see, it has come to make life miserable because you are not providing enough employment avenues. And when I am able to generate something, you come back to tax me. You get, let's go to E-Levy. You see, the biggest, I don't use certain words because we are on camera, but you see, it is the worst form of tax we can ever have in a country. The reason I call it a worst form of tax is because the country is already being taxed. The citizens are being taxed. When I go to, let's say, any food vending shop, when I go to any restaurant, and I buy food, when I take my receipt, I realize that even at the restaurant, I am paying COVID levy. I am paying whatever levy. I am paying this tax. I am paying all that tax. Okay. I work for, let's say, 22 days within a month. I am being paid. And when I am being paid, the government already taxed the company I am working with. So I work with F Dreams Entertainment. I work with, let's say, whatever company. The government is taxing this company through Ghana Revenue Authority. And trust me, no company, when it is being taxed, would not deduct it from the salary of the employees. So it means the company deducts you tax for whatever government or GRE is taking from them. Then it comes to the individual workers. Then you, as the individual worker, you have something which we call a gross salary. We have something which we call a gross salary. And in your gross salary, we deduct certain things to bring it to something which we call a net salary. And the net salary is what you take home after you have been taxed. So all these processes goes on, and GRE takes all these things. After I have taken this money on E-Levy, I have explained it on several platforms, on several occasions. After I have taken my net salary, when all these taxes have been deducted, I say I have somebody in my life called Ohene. I want to send Ohene money. And when I have to send Ohene money, I have to pay another tax before the money gets to Ohene. I have somebody in my life I call Ajua. I have to pay another tax for the money which I have already been taxed, for the money to get to Ajua. I say I have somebody whom I have to be benevolent to because this person is going through a lot. And I have to send the same person money. And out of my benevolence, you are again taxing me. And this tax, Ken Oforiatta again is the one who instigated this tax. And it was supposed to be passed in 1st January 2022. But out of Parliament, and you see, Nana, we are giving history. So let me give you a history of one person who would deep on my way up in the last 8 years or in the last 4 years. You know that person. At a point, government had 137 on the minority side, 137 on the majority side. There was just one independent candidate. So Ghanaians were hoping, we entrusted all our hopes to this independent candidate, that this independent candidate should be neutral. And when government is implementing policies which is not going to go in the interest of Ghana, this man is supposed to stand for the ordinary Ghanaians, whom His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa kept on referring to them as fellow Ghanaians. So as a fellow Ghanaian, I was expecting this man to stand up for me and go vote against policies which were not in the interest of the country. But this guy went into parliament, and when he was at 137, this guy swore his allegiance to the NPP. And he gave them the authority to implement every policy, including this nuisance tax called E-Levy. And when it was supposed to be passed on January 1st, it wasn't passed because there were flying of chairs in Parliament. If you remember, when the NDC had to fly chairs, they had to fight in Parliament. When we had to fly somebody from abroad, somebody who was a truant in government or in Parliament, what was her name? The MP for Dome Kwabinya, Honorable Adjo Asafo.
Yeah.
We had to fly her because she stated that she was sick outside. But because of E-Levy, we had to bring her to the country. I remember na MPB yare, yakofana the net ambulance most and then say, I didn't buy Parliament. You get? And this is the stress which this government passed through in implementation of E-Levy. And from the January which it was slated for, in the 2022 budget, it couldn't suffice. So it came to be passed in May 1st or on May 1st. You know the commemoration for May 1st. You know what we celebrate in Ghana on May 1st? That is the Workers' Day.
Why did you watch me? Tell me.
That is the Workers' Day. So you see, the government of Ghana, the Adudi government, the NPP government, had no better day than the day where the country celebrates its hard-working workers. People who wake up early in the morning and come back late in the night. People, even, let's say, the security personnel who have to stand on the streets at night. We saw the number of cases where policemen, where military men were killed in the year under review or within the period under review. These people who risked their life for the country, on the day we decide as a country to honor these people on May 1st, that is when this inconsiderate, that is when this government who doesn't think about the well-being of his people, that is when this government decides to slam the tax on his people. A day when we are supposed to celebrate Ghanaian workers. And it came to pass on May 1st that E-Levy was passed. And funny enough, you see, the majority leader at the time, Honorable Seche Mensah-Bonsu, I think somewhere in August, I don't really recall, but somewhere along the line, when he was celebrating his birthday, this guy, it is your birthday for crying out loud. It is not the birthday of Ghana. We know Ghana's birthday is on the 6th of March. So if you want to celebrate the birthday of Ghana, you celebrate as on 6th of March. This majority leader in Parliament had to go and make a cake, an E-Levy cake,
E-Levy cake.
where he invited dignitaries of the NPP government, where he invited dignitaries of Parliament, where he invited dignitaries of the country, including the person who ran on the ticket of the NPP, Alhaji Baumia, who was the then vice president. These people went and they cut the cake. As inconsiderate as they could be. And you see, it was the betting tax, the E-Levy tax, it was met with a public outcry. And when the public kept on complaining, this government did not listen. I remember when Adudi was in opposition before he came to power. Fellow Ghanaians, we have lived a country where the John Dramani Mahama administration keeps us under taxes which we do not understand where they are coming from. These taxes, we would refer to them as nuisance taxes. There is tax here, there is tax there, there is this, there is that. And that is how he spoke on the podium. And Ghanaians clapped. But you come and what you can do, the best you can do for us is to tax us with E-Levy. You see, it was a fantastic idea when Dr. Mahmoud Baumia wanted to go digital. We wanted to go a cashless system. But you see, you do mobile money portability. You do all these things. You do Ghana card. You do everything. And when you do all these things, and you come back to slam taxes on these same systems or measures you have created, then what are you doing? You are just moving in concentric rings. Then it means we are heading nowhere as a country. So the digital system we wanted to go, and you come back to slam these taxes. This is more than nuisance. So you see, as a country, and with this nuisance taxes we are plunged into, it is imperative, and it is one of the best news we could hear yesterday when the Minister of Finance designate said in Parliament, or when he said at his audition, his interview, his whatever we would want to call it, that within the first 120 days, John Dramani Mahama and himself as a finance minister are going to stick to the 120 days promise they made that they are going to cancel the E-Levy and the betting tax, because this tax is the most nuisance of nuisance taxes you can ever get.
So you think the taxes that were there before the E-Levy and betting, you think it's enough to take care of the country, and then the money we get from that side, the fines we get from that taxes are enough to actually develop the country to however we want it to be?
So you see, the motive for the taxes, the E-Levy and all that, one, it was, according to the NPP, it was as a result of the deficit in taxes we were making. That is one. Two, as a result of the COVID pandemic, which came up. So it was supposed to help and, let's say, make an adjustment for all those things, the fiscal budget, and we lacking money to undertake certain things. You understand? But you see, one thing we always forget is you don't get more money in taxing people. And yesterday, Ato Forsin made that clear in Parliament. It's not about the number of taxes you put on people that is going to give you more money. It is about tax compliance. It is about strengthening how you take these taxes, because we've realized that so many people evade these taxes. And he said something. How much was the betting tax raking in the whole year? According to their estimate, it was raking, let's say, 50 million or 50 billion Ghana cedis for the country. And this as compared to how much was even found under the bed of Cecilia Dapa. Nana, so the E-Levy was introduced as a result of a number of economic reasons. One, there was a budget deficit. So Ken Oforiatta said that was going to augment or complement for whatever we were making, so that we can execute the number of projects we were doing. It was at a time when we had a depreciating cedi. Cedi, no, that forms in a dollar, euro, even safer. You get. So that was one of the reasons why they introduced E-Levy. At a point, as a negative impact of COVID, they said they were introducing E-Levy to make up for some of the losses which we were making. But you see, all these things, you come back to realize that we were not disciplined during the era of COVID. We were a country who was gifted with so many donations, so many gifts coming in. This aid coming from that side, from that side. But the question is, even during that time, we had scandals. Even from the aid we were receiving from donor countries. And it tells you that it's not about the number of taxes you implement, but it's about how disciplined you can be. If we are going to be disciplined as a country to live within the little taxes which we are earning or which we are getting as a country, then it means that money, and it's not even little. If I say the little taxes we are getting as a country, I am not being considerate to the ordinary Ghanaian. You see, in Ghana we are burdened with a lot of taxes, a lot. So the taxes we have, they are enough. The only thing we lack is our leaders are not disciplined enough. So when they go out there and misuse the country's funds, misuse the funds we are getting from exporting cocoa, from exporting gold, from exporting the natural resources the country has been so much blessed with, they come back and they have to make up for the losses they are making. And the only way they can make up for it is to come back, and when they see Awuchi investing, they come to slam a tax of 10% there. When they come and they see Nana Yeboah doing so well and being so benevolent on people, they go to MTN, they go to Telecel, they go to Airtel Tigo, and they ask for the data of people who are sending mobile money. And when they see these monies, wow, their eyes begin moving around. How can we be able to generate revenue from here? And that is the thinking of our leaders. So they are thinking of every avenue which money passes so that they can slam a tax on you. But if you are slamming taxes on these people through this means, then it means there is no need for us to wake up as Ghanaians and go and queue on every 7th December in every 4 years and go and vote for these people, because we are going to vote for our nemesis. And who votes for their nemesis? Nobody.
All right, thank you very much, Awuche. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know what you think in the comment section as far as this topic is concerned. I know most of you are actually happy to hear this news, and investors will be. So let us know what you think in the comment section. This episode was powered by.
Nana, before you cut, you know one of the people who is going to be extremely happy by this news. Inoki.
Hey, that guy, you see, not tax no one. Say so that the investors, if they chop like 20 Ghana, 100 Ghana, the 10%, it no be you.
Yes.
If you chop like 10,000, 20,000, what did they take?
10,000 is small. You know the best.
If they chop of 100,000,
so imagine feeling a stake of 100,000 Ghana cedis.
I feel it.
Then Adudi, he no do anything.
That's why.
Ken Oforiatta, he no do anything. Even his own ministers gang up say Moku JM from them. What you wanna say? Nana Ebua Eddie 100,000. Inoke Eddie 500,000. I dey go take my 10%. Saturday no, obesa scale
Come show. Could make it so Philippa. So guys, let us know what you think in the comment section. This is where we end today's episode. It was powered by Earth Dreams Entertainment. We are signing out. Peace.